So, first game of the first best of 5 here. We have Snapy versus Àkos. And the game doesn't seem to be moving, so let's start the playback and see if that helps. Yeah, it does. Alright. First game, always Arabia. And the players have been picking their home maps and drafting civs. They get to ban one map and pick 2 home maps before they start drafting the civilizations, and we'll have a full-on archers matchup here with the Vikings versus Ethiopians. So expect to see archers here, Snapy with the faster firing archers, Vikings with the superior economy, although Ethiopians have a tiny little bonus granting them 100 food, 100 gold reaching the next age, meaning that going men-at-arms for Ethiopians is a lot smoother than with many other civilizations. Back gold for the Ethiopians here, that's good news for Snapy, picking the color that almost meddles completely in with the terrain here. Some zebras in the back that could be pushed in as well. Woodlines look decent. Only 2 woodlines close to base though. The others are a bit further out. Forward berries, never ideal, but you know what you might expect from Ethiopians. It's men-at-arms into archers, so that's something I am sure Snapy will adapt to here. North side, Àkos with the Vikings. Back gold, also for Àkos here. Beautiful news, and a juicy back woodland here to take as well. Another one to flee to if needed, but it's always nice to have a back woodline to keep your wood income protected from enemy aggression. Looks like a quite open map here for Àkos. Won't be the easiest full wall for Vikings, but maybe a wall all the way towards the edge on either side, and then funnel the aggression in towards the TC if needed, and you could be fairly safe. Vikings get the wheelbarrow and handcart instantly in the feudal and castle ages, so that grants them an amazing economy moving on through the game. So 4 on wood for both players, 7 on food as well. No idle TC so far for either player, so they have some routine there, good at keeping their TCs producing. So you see Àkos moving out to wall the front edge here, maybe to limit the points where enemy units can move out early here. Snapy going to drop the mill, I believe. 2 houses, then the mill. Indicative of a men-at-arms opening here. We'll be sending 4 or 5 to berries, maybe just 4 since the pushing in the zebras boosts the food economy as well. We could have a quick look at the scouting as well. Looks like Snapy is happy moving out now to try and find the enemy. He's going to the left first, but his enemy is in fact right ahead of him. Àkos also senses where the opponent might be, has found the hunt, so that's usually an indication that their location is around here and is just about to find a woodline over here to confirm. Since the 4 tile stone, definitely an indication that the enemy base is close here. So Ethiopians have faster firing archers, but Vikings with the superior economy might be able to get through to especially Imperial Age earlier if they get to multiple thesis boom and to really capitalize on the wheelbarrow and handcart advantages. Eco makes it easier to afford upgrades earlier, like ballistics and thumbring and these things as well. Thumbring especially I think would be useful against Ethiopians because thumbring grants faster firing rate to your archers. Here goes the barracks for Snapy going up at 19 pop, quite customary for men-at-arms opening. And we're seeing the same for Àkos heroes about to complete the barracks as well. I think we'll be seeing both players going for men-at-arms here. And Snapy is on point with the scout now, sees the woodland, does not see the barracks, will not be able to delay the barracks from going up here. Just browsing around a little bit, sees the berries as well, knows about the berries on the woodlands now. And the last two villagers, as we can see, is going to gold for both players here. It's actually 3 on gold for Snapy, so maybe it's actually not the men-at-arms after all, but it is the men-at-arms skewing militia. So it's just kind of anticipating the archers transition here with 3 on gold for the 20... Wait, what? Only 20 villagers up? Alright, so 21 pop men-at-arms then for Snapy, as Àkos is going up slightly later with the 22 population, 21 villagers total. Àkos is on point as well with the scout and knows what's up here. Let's have a look at Snapy's scouting here. Yeah, they're gonna have a running with militia into men-at-arms here, but Snapy is gonna get that upgrade a lot earlier with the earlier feudal age timing here. So that's a setback for Àkos here, who's already taking some hits on the scout, losing some precious hit points there. And looks like Snapy wants to pull towards the hill here. 10 seconds ago, still takes the fight, but has better hit points overall here. He pulls away the scouts for some reason. And men-at-arms kicks in a little bit too late here. Àkos definitely gets a great fight here. And may or may not. Actually, Snapy did cancel men-at-arms in time there. I think that was a good call. He's up against Vikings militia here as well. They have extra hit points reaching the next stage. Àkos left with only 1 militia. And no scout though, so Snapy is forward here, intercepted Àkos's men-at-arms, and neither player will be subject to any infantry aggression in their base now at this point. So the militia, aka Angry Housewife, goes down there. No harm done on Àkos' side. So EKD 3-3, that's like the militia and scouts and everything there. But Eco KD 0-0, neither player has lost any villagers. And with the Vikings free, I'm starting to favor Vikings a little bit here, but we'll see how it progresses, of course. Archers for Vikings, archers for Ethiopians. Fletching in for Ethiopians, but not for Vikings. That could be because of that 100 food and gold for Ethiopians, making it easier to afford the upgrades. But for now, they're just passing each other. And have roughly the same army numbers as well. Slightly more for Snapy here, who might... Yeah, he was earlier to the feudal age, so he got to start producing archers earlier as well. 2 archers forward to try and hit some economy here. These walls aren't complete, so now Snapy might take some sneaky hits here to the economy. Just a few archers forward here. 1 skirmisher will be enough to clean up these. But the counterattack is real as well. A little bit of scout blocking here for Snapy, but risks losing scout 2 villagers fighting here. That's 1 villager down now. First blood of the 2 villagers down actually for Àkos here from Snapy's offenses. So that's better value already from the forward than Àkos got at the Ethiopian side here. Second range going up for Snapy, so going to double up on the feudal age archers here, whereas Vikings will stay 1 range and maybe double up on the skirmishers production now to compensate. Villagers fighting archers, not something you see every day there, but he goes down, so it seems to be worthwhile. Eight military to 2 though, so this should be worrying for Àkos here. With the Vikings not really committing that much to army, missing some more skirmishers, I'd say. Two rangers constantly pumping out units here for Snapy, but yeah, Àkos going one range skirmishers defense now, as I think he should when it's on the back foot like this. He's down 3 villagers. But on the other hand, Snapy needs to research wheelbarrow at some point, and that's 3 villagers worth of research time, so not the worst damage ever taking for Vikings just yet, if they both keep the villagers production consistent. And Snapy is actually running the TC idle for a bit here. Ah, never mind, it's getting wheelbarrow, so so never mind that. That should even out the villager counts here, while Snapy with the superior army numbers is moving forward now to break into Àkos' base and cause some discomfort here in the eco department of Àkos. Couple of skirmishers, but not nearly enough here for Snapy to worry about. These Ethiopians as well, firing faster, should be able to snipe a few skirmishers as needed. Well, there's 4 skirmishers with fletching, but no armor, and armor is on the way in for Snapy here. Yeah, this forward could cause a lot of damage for the grey player here. One woodline cleared by Àkos, so good reaction there, but still this little trickle of army could get great value here. Looking at the idle eco timer ticking away for Àkos here. Snapy of course needs to do serious damage here as well against Vikings. Now using the starting scout to snipe at least one skirmisher there, that's some good attention as well. Keeping the scout alive. And full walls in place at home. Look at that Vikings economy though. I mean, granted, Àkos hasn't been spending nearly as much resources into units and upgrades, but it's definitely going to go to the Imperial Age first here with the eco setup given here. Skirmishers defense paying off as well, but Snapy snipes another villager. And again with some more archers knocking at the door here with the new built palisade gate. Àkos calls the GG. First game goes to Snapy. That was a quick one. Not letting Vikings get away with the stronger eco and boom there, simply losing too many villagers. Let's see the eco KD again. It was actually only 4 villagers killed for Snapy, but not enough army presence for Àkos to deal with the forward here. So that difference is just going to escalate for the players. Let's see, for the KD 14 to 8. Yeah, seemed like a bit of an early GG here, but there are more games to go. It's a best of 5 after all. Up times 21 pop men at arms there, very smooth for the Ethiopians there to pull that off with that timing. Vikings with 22 pop following suit behind, very little idle DC time for both, so these are close to perfect feudal age up times. Alright, let's pull up game number 2, Àkos home map. So Àkos has picked Acropolis for the occasion and will be loading in the game shortly here. Alright, second game, Acropolis. As you can see, one height for either player here. Starting up on the hill, we have Snapy with the Bulgarians for this one. I've seen him play Bulgarians quite a lot, so it's obviously comfortable playing that civilization. Not sure about men at arms. Yeah, the berries are forward, so Bulgarians kind of a rush militia into men at arms could be useful here to delay some walls and maybe follow up with the further feudal age aggression, as we've seen Snapy favor a lot throughout the tournament. He really likes extended feudal age play and plays TGs regularly with Tato, so that's probably where he's getting that inspiration. Of course, with the Indians versus Bulgarians, I mean, Indians would counter Bulgarians' cavalry play, I would say, with the camels to counter both conics and knights, although camels don't work as well against conics as against knights. But with the economy and the resources saved early on producing villagers, they are cheaper, 5% cheaper in the Dark Age for Indians. It's easier to transition maybe, say, 19 population scouts and pump out scouts in the feudal age to take some map control and hope that the enemy isn't full wall at home. You see both players taking the back wood lines here. Could be that Snapy wants to open scouts with Bulgarians as well. Nothing wrong with that. They are as good as any. It's just that the Indians have a kind of an early game eco bonus with saving 5% food per villager. It's not a lot, but it's still significant throughout the game with the villagers becoming cheaper and cheaper as the game advances for Indians. Great boom for Indians. And so he's here. Hello. Pushing in deer here, I'm assuming both players do that. That's a nice little eco boost to have for both players. New update breaks replays. Yes, it does. So I've downgraded the game already to work for that purpose. So I made a workaround. You could either ask some developers very nicely to get a beta key to downgrade inside Steam, or use external software like I've done for this one, thanks to Cyanide for making that possible. 3 houses in front here for Snapy and a bit of palisade walling. He doesn't want to let any aggression enter easily here. And we're seeing kind of the same pattern here for Àkos. I see the players aren't really stressing their boards. I mean, board stealing is definitely an option on Acropolis when you usually would expect your opponent to be right over at the other side. But the easier way to boost your food income is, of course, to push in the deer and stay at home for a little bit longer before you move out to scout, where the enemy is, in most cases. Sometimes you see the Acropolises on the sides, both of them, but usually most common is to have them on right face to face like this. Second boar is in for both players. Some preemptive small walls here for Àkos. Knows that Bulgarians could very well go men at arms here. There's no indication of any gold taken for Snapy, but here comes the barracks. Before the village is queued, but it's right around the corner here. And also the last deer being pushed in, I think. Yeah, he's going to gold actually. So he's going to collect that 10 gold to pump out 5 militia to become men at arms instantly upon feudal age. And given the solid investment on food here, I would almost expect to see a scouts follow up with that as well. If it's not just for defensive spearmen and turtling it out a bit to get to the Bulgarians' cheaper town centers and Krepost access in the castle age for more map control. Okay, so Snapy goes for the sides first here. Looking for the enemy now. He's probably going to discover the forward front woodland here, which is just like begging to be towered to deny a bit of access to wood in the front here. You're not going to deny the enemy completely of wood though, because there's wood in the back up on the Acropolis as well. Militia indeed in queue here, and feudal age more than 50% on the way. Walls will be complete by the time the Indian scouts can enter in the base. I think it's a 20 pop scouts for Indians here. That makes for some good food economy at home, and we see the barracks go so close to the external woodland here as well to get some spears out to potentially to defend the woodland more easily. You could small wall around the woodland as well. Village is in though, and the stables go up. Snapy would be able to afford a stable as well if he wants to follow this up. Nice creek wall, by the way, to keep the villagers safe here. The militia are on the move, and Àkos doesn't necessarily know about this. Takes some hits to the scout there, unfortunately. But with the scout inside of enemy walls, at least you could try and delay the walls so that Àkos' scouts have easier passage over to the other side here. Good reaction for Snapy again to do the quick walls there. Everybody does these days, the quick walls, but some people like me tend to fail more often than not. But Snapy has it sorted. Seems to have some good micro attention in place here. Spearman is out, and just one poke from uphill there on that scout, and that should go down. So Àkos will need to bail here, We'll have to re-evaluate the scouts' investment here as well, considering that the walls are more or less complete here for Snapy. Actually didn't complete the right-hand side, so maybe there's hope yet for scouts damage. But the clock is definitely ticking for Àkos to get in and deal some damage here on Acropolis. We see one scout going down over here. Pity that Àkos is going to the wrong side. I think Snapy misclicked here. Wanted to complete the walls, but now is gathering stone instead. So that's unfortunate for our blue player here. It means that there's still some option of entry for Àkos on the right hand side here. But Àkos doesn't seem to acknowledge. Probably expects these walls to be up by now after the quick wall from the dude. Oh yeah, where are the men at arms? I saw him moving to the left hand side and forward. And it's definitely getting some stuff done here. He killed 2 villagers. I was too occupied with the scouts to notice that Snapy is killing villagers over on the other side here for Àkos and rendering this woodline quite, what should we say, useless. Yeah, some value to be had here. The walls are up now for Snapy, and he's only invested into the men at arms so far. No, nah, he's got some scouts in queue as well, so it's men at arms into scouts here to fight the Indians. All right, 2 scouts down to the men at arms here. Again, good value from Snapy, and I missed him killing a few villagers over here. Àkos now going to gold, thinking about that cast stage transition by the looks of it. And in the meantime, we have some more scouts on the field for Snapy. At least 2 of them, 2 scouts and a spear. Oh, nice hit. So no more scouts in production, no more men at arms. Transitioning to the cast stage here, maybe. 4 on gold now, and market blocks this villager in between the wood lines, and right, he wants to save this villager working on the edge of the map here. Snapey doesn't take any chances. Might be planning to delete these palisades and move out with these villagers later for some forward shenanigans, maybe. Blacksmith for Àkos here. Definitely going to get to that cast stage a lot earlier than Snapey, by the looks of it. That opens for camels. Indians camels have extra pierce armor and bonus against buildings. But you need to get through the walls as well to deal some real damage here. So we'll see. Maybe Àkos just wants to use the earlier cast stage to extend out on the field later on to have better economy. Gray needs a lumber camp on the plains. Yeah, I guess he does. Yeah, he's moving out now. Maybe. Where are you going? It's probably going down here or something. Maybe he doesn't want to stay too close to the Acropolis. And there's the villager that built the market. He's over there. Couldn't you at least head start the building process here? 1 spearman to defend here. This is Snapey knowing that he's not exactly in danger of enemy armies right now. Not too many scouts and other armies on the field here. But what's with the villager walking? 13 villagers to 1 lumber camp on the side here. Yeah, Snapey is gonna struggle for wood for a bit here. Weird. In the meantime, we have Àkos just about to reach the castle age here. 2 stables going to play the camels here first and foremost. Oh boy! Imagine if I had like 5 Indian scouts on the field to see this happening, then Snapy would be looking at huge losses here. Àkos with some scouts micro here as well, but it doesn't take the uphill, gonna lose that other one. With the cast stage in, the camels are out, and let's just hope that Àkos sees this. Because that would be the perfect place to hit, though. You couldn't wall out 4 camels chasing a camel. It's not the best raiding unit, but they're one of the better units for Indians to use, so it makes sense to go into them nevertheless. Especially since the opponent already has a stable up and might be thinking about cavalry play long term. Bulgarians have decent cavalry archers as well, so that's also one to consider for them. Àkos is making good use of the early cast stage, so dropping the second castle here. Why not over on the gold and the woodland here, though? That would be my question. But wood access and secure wood access is what it is. Slow expansion out on the map here for Àkos. Now it's camels entering here. We've got 3 barracks, full pike defense for Snapy by the looks of it. He could, of course, benefit from long swords if needed as well. He gets that upgrade instantly, but right now it's going to be full on pikemen here after the 3 spearmen in the production queue here now. And that's a good call against full on camels play here. Could consider maybe adding a monastery as well for conversions, because he has gold for a couple of monks in the bank here. But pikes are just fine against camel masses exclusively as well. We see the ranges for Àkos though, thinking about cavalry archers here maybe. Indian cavalry archers. Good call on Acropolis that. You have the range potential to use for raiding and mobility throughout the game. Pikes are in. And they pop out, so if Àkos doesn't pay attention, he does. But he really wants that barracks down. There are more barracks behind this, so not really much to consider. +2 defense, +1 attack for Snapy's pikes. No way the camels should take that fight. They're pulling away. Engaging against the pikes again, and lacking some upgrades for the camels. It seemed like a subpar engagement for Àkos there, but it does have the military numbers still. It's mainly just full on pike defense for Snapy, who is also extended to the side here. Did palisade wall in the wood choppers just in case any camels found their way over here, but now it's fine. He might as well delete the palisade now because it's fine. Cheaper town centers for the Bulgarians paying off here as well. You pay just 50 stone per town center, and with the stone you could place castles or prep posts and go into conics for Bulgarians. $14 military to 5 now. Àkos with a mix of camels and cavalry archer, a gold intensive but efficient combination if you're able to mass them. Now the cavalry archers are here. They're lacking ballistics for now, might be lacking thumbering as well. I didn't see the upgrades, but they are still a ranged unit that could be used to snipe enemy pikemen. Defensive prep post for Snapy in a good spot as well. Covers both the gold and the production buildings here. Should be alright. Not nearly enough pikes now to deal with the pressure though, so this could be workable if Àkos is able to get through. Pretty convincing defensive play for Snapy though. So the camels are in, but the prep post is up, so again limited potential for the camels and cav archers to deal damage here. And let's see for Àkos' scouting. Has been scouting the side of the map, but has not scouted the expansion here with the 2 town centers to the sides. Otherwise, this would be natural areas to push. You could use cav archers on this woodland to force the villagers to garrison, for example, and then you take Snapy up a lot of the wood income here. Watchers tanking some towns under fire. They don't have any armors. That's a bit dangerous. Moving too close to TCs here. Palisade walls shouldn't stop these raids. You can still use the Watcher range to sit on the woodline here outside of TC range and force the villagers to garrison, but you can't get too close, obviously. I think that lack of armor is hurting a little bit for Àkos here as well in terms of taking shots from towns under fire. Villager counts nearly similar though, even with Snapy with 3 TCs here. I don't think is he using all of them? Yeah, he is. Okay. So Snapy might catch a villager lead here. 3 TCs for both players though, and the Indians villagers are cheaper as well, so Àkos has a good boom going here, going into their lumber camp in the front here, and possibly has some more map control than the opponent here. Siege Workshop to the side now, nice addition by Àkos there. It should be outside of Snapy's... no, never mind, he sees it. So immediate defensive crepost there, something that Àkos fails to see, so that's some good. A bit lucky vision there for Snapy maybe, but seeing this in Siege, that kind of gets stopped by the crepost and Siege for defense. Immediate reaction there, that was impressive. But if you get just a few ramps out, that crepost will still melt rather quickly. Cav Archers on one side, Camels on the other. Àkos with solid military lead here still. I think Snapy is just hoping to boom this out and survive the opponent here. He's not really using the crepost for army production either. 28 on food, 9 on gold. Mainly playing the boom game here. Seems a bit passive here on Acropolis, giving up this match of the map control to Àkos. 3 rams now to push, and Snapy doesn't really have any cavalry to contest the rams. He has the mangonels out, so they could of course stop a ram rush on the TC and crepost here, but then again, those mangonels might be forced down by small numbers of camels here on the field. And Imperial Age on way for Àkos here. Benefit on the Indians boom here and taking the map control. Fourth TC going up as well, so really extending the economy here for Àkos means that when the stone allows a castle go up as well, you could easily push the crepost with trebuchets if you're able to get the castle up. Pulls the rams away now so as not to lose them to mangonels, and Snapy on point here with some villagers building houses around the crepost so that the rams don't have easy access here. Another range for Àkos here, producing out of one of the others for cavalry archers, so Àkos seems to want to play even more Indians cavalry archers here. Forward Siege Workshop goes down, it's just too lucky for Snapy that he actually saw it going up there. Or not lucky if he had Town Watch and maybe even Town Patrol to get more vision for his buildings. But no siege push happened, the ramps have been salvaged for now, and now a semi-forward castle here for Àkos to use the Imperial Age to push with trebs from this area. I think I like that castle addition there. You can start pushing the economy on this side, where there are 3 town centers and a couple of creposts. And yeah, take the map control away from Snapy here, so to speak. Even taking a woodland next to the castle. Good use of the forward builders, I guess. Bracer coming in, that's going to benefit the cavalry archers, of course, in terms of range and damage output. It's going to give them one more range here once it kicks in, 4+3. And looking at the military, again, 39 to 9 here. Snapy about to reach Imp as well, but I don't think he... I mean, he has stone for a castle, he's mining stone over here, so he might still be able to get the castle up, but he's going to fall behind in a treb war here with one treb already out for the Indians player. So Àkos not overly aggressive here, but playing it patiently, not really losing a lot of units here, KD 20 to 19. And of course the Krepos, they only have 2600 HP, that's half of a castle, so they go down much more quickly as well. With 2 trap pressuring the Krepos here, there's just a limit to how much you can actually repair here. Chemistry, ring archer armor, last few upgrades kicking in for the cavalry archers of Àkos here, who has 35 cav archers total. Might be enough, might not. Using the rams to maybe buy some time here. Will be needing another treb to push here. More siege workshops going up as well. Wanting some more cap rams out maybe. Rams into cap rams. And Snapy has been too passive this game. He's outpost rushing the right hand side, but that's not really going to do too much here other than provide some map vision. He actually has almost all the map scouted here, but this is where the action is going down. And Àkos definitely with some good momentum here. Switching scores up and down here, and the KD isn't that difference, but the siege presence and the army combination of Àkos seems much better here. It's getting thumbering for the cavalry archers now as well, so they are getting close to fully upgraded, only missing heavy cavalry archer. You see them focusing down a ram, no, mangonel, without too much difficulty here. Snapy going into light cab here, might be thinking about late game stirrups, Bulgarians, Hussars, but let's see if the food eco will allow it if this area of the map gets breached, because that's going to take Snapy away from half of his farm eco, and very much limit the potential for scouts and Hussars raids. Bombard cannons, of course, not rams, but bombard cannons for Àkos here to accompany the cavalry archers, and to supplement the trebs in taking out buildings from a distance. Yeah, I believe in this Indians push, and look at the long-term thinking here as well, with the castle on the hill in the middle near a neutral gold, and also placing some more farms with Hussars in mind. Parthian tactics in, maybe we'll even see heavy cavalry archer from Àkos here. Seems to have superior eco here to Snapy, I have to say. He's pop-capped, he has 14 more wielders, and he's shredding light cab here with Indians cav archers that have full upgrades. I'm not sure if Snapy even has stirrups here for the cavalry to attack faster, but light cab doing some work here. They snipe one trab. We're going to try and take out some cav archer numbers here, but Àkos is keeps 3 ranges consistently producing behind this, so losing some numbers isn't that big of a deal. Food eco is extending as well, so Hussars may enter the field soon. And the more Krepos go down here, so even if Snapy wanted to go into Conics here, that's not really an option. Snapy has been playing this too passively, I think, after the opening man-at-arms. So... is this going to be the end of Snapy? Another defensive castle which is out of stone, means that he can't possibly repair here. He's really trying to salvage his food eco, because I think he really thinks that he really needs some massive Hussar raids out on the field here to turn the efforts of the game. But look at all the blue on the map here. Àkos should have this game in the bag. He has 80% map control here. There really shouldn't be any way back for Snapy here. eco food eco really extending here. I think it tasked a villager to these farms or something. We see Indian hussars on the field as well, and Àkos showing a good performance on the home map here. Soon about to leave Snapy only with his own little acropolis on the hill here as his base economy. And granted, quite a fluent food eco on the top here, so that's still going to allow for some Bulgarian hussar spam here, but with an Indian player with a massive boom and 55 military total, still more than twice the military of Snapy. There's not much to be done here. Snapy would need to buy stone to keep this castle up, and it will definitely go down. It might be buying Snapy some time to get some army numbers out, but I think it's not going to be enough to take the game back into his favor here. Cavalry Archer raids on the right hand side as well, so nice Cavalry Archer play, and Hussars entering the main farm economy here. Snapy is not one to give up lightly, but looking at all the blue on the map here now, there isn't any way back. It would be the comeback of a lifetime if that's the case. Snapy still has villagers, he still has a decent population, but obviously can't match the army numbers here with the economy banked. 1 for Àkos, that is a 1-1 thus far in this set. A little bit surprised to see Horse Collar this late for Snapy, as he did go only for the men-at-arms first into the scouts, so he would probably have benefited from getting that one a tiny bit earlier. Wheelbarrow much later as well, so Indians definitely with the superior economy here, getting all the eco upgrades a bit earlier. Earlier Imperial Age as well, not by too much, but still giving Àkos an edge here. Haiti 144 to 66, so that's some dominant display there by the blue player. 12,000 more resource collected should be mentioned as well. And then we have the uptimes, men-at-arms, scouts, quicker castle age time for the Indians here, and eventually castles and grab posts. 2 castles for each player. There were quite a few grab posts from Snapy as well, but not enough to take the map back and push the Indians here. So a good game by both. Let's go to Snapy's first home map. Alright, so we're going to Sacred Springs, which is Snapy's first home map. And let me just pull up Capture H here, and we should be good to go. There we go. So Sacred Springs it is. It is a map from Red Bull Wallow 2. You see the ponds in the borders. I think it's just an aesthetic thing to have a little bit of water here. Yes, you could, if you chopped through all the wood, could dock and fish boom here. Or fish trap. But yeah, mainly for the aesthetics here. See, there's lots of gold in the middle, so there's going to be a fight for middle control here for sure as the game moves on. It's a very open map, which is intended for the team of my tournament, open season. Full walls shouldn't be easy here. We have Magyars versus Mongols, so Snapy likely to play extended scouts here, as I've seen him do on Sacred Springs before with success, almost ending the games with extended feudal. Whereas Àkos with the Mongols, honestly, a peculiar pick for Sacred Springs because there's not really any hunt to benefit from here. There's only the 2 boars that are far away from the home base as well, so it's a little bit of a stretch to lure in those when there's so much shore fish to be taken instead. But the boars, they still gather 40% faster for Mongols, of course, so it could boost the food income for a nice and early uptime with the scouts. We'll see how the game progresses here. First lure without loom, keeping the scouts close to go in between the villager and the boar here so that the villager doesn't die on the way home here, hopefully. Let's see. Oh, that woodline isn't doing Àkos any favors, though. That's a real nasty lure, but using the scout in between here to save the villager on the way home, I think. Yeah. So that's a neat little trick to pull off these long lures. The villager makes it home, and yeah, a little bit of a hunt for Mongols to benefit from here. Second to Mongols' hunt, which collects 40% faster, is the shorefish, which is the second fastest food source in the game. Thanks, Scout. Indeed, Magnolia. Had some next level Scouts control there to send them in between the luring villager. Is it going straight for the other boar as well? I think he is. Okay, so Mongols on Sacred Springs, there are no deer to push in or anything, but there are boars near those ponds. And still no loom. Oh. Yeah, here comes the scout. Just don't let the boar take it. Downhill hit! 16 HP left. I think it's fine here. So I don't have the draft for this one, but we saw Indians in the previous game, so they cannot be used for Sacred Springs. So that's a bit interesting that Àkos chose to play Indians on Acropolis. It worked into his favor. But since he knew that Sacred Springs was on the agenda, why not pick Indians here with the Indians collecting shorefish 10% faster? That was peculiar. He did play Archers with Indians on Acropolis, so we could have definitely done it here as well. Mongols have faster firing cab archers though, so it's still an option to go scouts into cavalry archers with Mongols on this map as well. Snapy seems to have gone into loom here because he's also luring the boars. He's been taking both of them, in fact. But he seems behind the villagers here, slightly more idle eco time, but that villager difference is due to Snapy playing it safer here and taking loom to secure the villagers' life on the way home from luring the boar. Both players taking shorefish here as well, 5 to 4. Food disposition seems somewhat similar, but it's going to be Mongols going up first here. So Àkos will be the first one to pump out the scouts. We have to expect scouts on this very open map, I think. So barracks going up for Snapy on this side, close to the ponds. As we can see, he wants to have a short walking distance for the spearmen to protect the very much needed fish eco on this side. No hunt, no berries on Sacred Springs, so you need to really make use of the fish in the ponds across this map. It's been a very popular map in open season, been picked by lots of players, so they, of course, signing up for a tournament like this, they like to play open and preferably a little bit of feudal age aggression on the maps. So this map more than any definitely invites for it. Mongols up to the feudal age here. 2 villagers building the stables on the shorefish hill here. See the players not opting for more than one hill with fish for now. Makes it a lot easier to defend, of course, not trying to take both ponds at once and being greedy in that sense. Where are you going, Snapy? Well, good thing with Magyars here is that they get +1 attack instantly with Feudal Age kicking in, so Àkos doesn't stand a chance one-on-one against the enemy scout here. But he has the Spearman joined in, and no quick ones for Snapy this time around, so he is going to struggle to get this stable completed in time. He has a Spearman there, so he's fine after all. But that seems sketchy for a moment. I would have expected Snapy to toss up some quick walls there to keep the enemy aggression out. But a Scouts War it is, and it's really close to each other, these two production buildings. One scout down for Snapy here. And 2 versus 1 with the spears, but those are +1 attack spears. Shouldn't be a problem for Snapy to focus down that. He even risks taking a 2 versus 3 here, and it makes sense with that extra attack from Magyars. Still, we need to micromanage a bit here to get the hits in, but here comes the Spearman, doesn't get a hit. But these guys are goners. Their one is so weak, just one hit away, and I think this full HP scout of Snapy will deal with this no problem. Snapy relocating a mill now, extending some farm eco at home as well. They're both building farms, Mongols with more soul than the other. And the range goes up here, wants to pump out some skirmishers or archers to deal with enemy spearmen here. And the range is going to come in handy later as well, of course, in the castle age if you want to go for a cavalry archer follow-up. KD 5-5, no significant advantage for either player here. See, Àkos is scouting this side as well, or keeps the scout close here, just to not spot Snapy taking the second pond here. It gives me extended village vibes here that Snapy is going this heavily on the food on both ponds. Would be too surprised to see another stable added in the village here. And this range gets a little bit delayed for Àkos as well, I think. It's gonna go up eventually, and with 5 on gold, it's gonna be the archers here for Àkos then. Archers will be a good call actually, because if you added skirmishers, you'd have a good chance against enemy spearmen, but skirmishers are obviously countered by scouts with the melee attack and all that. So if you add archers and you get fletching, then you have a unit which in decent mass would take out both scouts and spearmen of the opponent. Just chilling out here, are we? Gone fishing? You know, there's some people to bother over here, right? Yeah. Just peaceful coexistence on the other pond there, and giving Snapy a nice food boost here. 22 on food now. Wheelbarrow to have the farms work faster as well. House wall to semi-protect the gold here, but I think Snapy is going to get some good hits in the 5 spears. After all, they have +1 attack. They could snipe villagers on their own with a surround here. Yeah, this woman is a gunner. She's trapped. Scouts staying clear of TC fire as well, so Snapy with some better engagements here gets his first villager kill of the game. Has free fish boom on both sides here, short fish boom, and some army momentum forward. Àkos with the villager lead though, so Àkos has had less idle TC time here, albeit more idle eco time. And yeah, it's still a lead, even if you consider that Snapy has wheelbarrow and Àkos does not. Snapy also doesn't have horse collar, which is going to be a bit of a worry for your farms. They will need replenishment much sooner than otherwise. So another villager down. By the looks of it, that's 2-1 eco KD for Snapy, really pumping out units here now. 15 to 8 military. Good military situation for the grey player here now. $19 to 7 military, full on fuel age pressure for Snapy. But look at the economy behind this. They're not that dissimilar either. The wood situation seems awkward for Snapy. Okay, so preemptive tower on the wood line there. Or a reactionary tower maybe to the forward of Àkos on this side. 20 on wood now for Snapy. Are they all on the same side? What's... Yeah. What a glorious mess here on the lumber camp, with the tower effectively blocking the villager pathing back to the long distance lumber camp here. That's not going to do Snapy any favors here, needing quicker replenishment on farms here as well. Oh, garrison, maybe? Or not? Well, there's a lot going on here now. The scouts numbers are reaching annoying numbers here for sure for Snapy. 9 scouts, and still those 8 spears as well, wherever they are. They're over here just enjoying life. Àkos down to 34 villagers, falling behind here, not having... does have wheelbarrow, but is 2 villagers down. Àkos trying to relocate to the far off wood line, but doesn't succeed in quick walling things in here. The intensive feudal age play of Snapy pays off here. That's a 2-1 for Snapy on the home map Sacred Springs. I'm still puzzled by the Mongols pick for... I would have had the other way around with Mongols on the Acropolis and Indians here, but that's just my 2 cents on that one. Let's see for the stats. So villagers total for Àkos here 41 total, but did lose some, and total 38 to 36, 2 villagers lost by the looks of it for Snapy here. Military should show 80 to LKD, nothing too significant here, but that's the way it went. Massive army difference though, so Snapy doing a better job at the army combinations there by the looks of it. More food, more scouts, obviously cheaper Magyar scouts. That's probably explaining a little bit of the military dominance here as well, that the Magyar scouts are 10 or 15% cheaper, 15% I think. Then we have the uptimes, Mongols with a smooth feudal age uptime there, but not doing all that much with that earlier up. And finally the society score with the villagers count being the relevant number here. Let's go to Àkos' second home map. Lowland is the next one. Another Red Bull Vololo map, but which seems suitable for random map play as well. So here we go with game 4. Àkos versus Snapy. Snapy is still the case here. And they stick with blue and gray here as the colors. And we have Snapy with the Tatars. Obviously, long-term having cavalry archers in mind here. Scouts into cavalry archers maybe. Or pre-milled rush into cavalry archers. We'll see. And Àkos with the Malians here on the other side. So his infantry will withstand a lot of arrow fire. But then again, with cavalry archers from the Tatars, they could just hit and run and take Àkos out of the game that way. Okay, thing about lowland is that you can see the lowland in the middle here. That's where all the golds, stones, extra hunt, everything is. Mongols would make sense here as well, actually, for Àkos, I think, with the extra hunt. But you have your starting area up on the hill, which favors Tatars. They have 25% the extra damage when attacking from a hill. And full wall is possible early on this map, but it would usually mean leaving out at least one of your 2-tile starting golds and forcing you to move into the middle for further wood and gold and stone access as the game moves on. Even the stones tend to spawn a little bit awkwardly here, so they're not easily accessible. So Malians likely to go men-at-arms, I would say. Their infantry units get +1 fierce armor per age starting in the feudal age, whereas the Tatars are granted 50% extra food from herdables like sheep or geese or whatnot, and hence should consider going for the scouts or an early rush, maybe pre-build rush, since you won't be struggling as much for the need for a mill and berry income to sustain you further on. Taking the backboard first, okay, seems risky. Oh, didn't fight the second boar. Snapy, get your scouting down. Don't move out without knowing about the second boar. Don't you know the maps? There are 2 boars here to be taken. Maybe he just expects to have been lame at this point. If he doesn't take this one, Àkos would grab the chance and snag it when he moves forward to scout the enemy, I would say. So that's sloppy scouting right there. There should be two boars on these maps. So no reason not to try and find it, but it's also hiding in one tile gap. There could be that Snapy has seen it over here and knows that it is here, and that the boars just disappearing back into the fog of war. Looks like turtle approach here for Àkos with the full Dark Age walls here. No sign of a barracks yet, so definitely no rush. Could still be men at arms here if the wood count allows, but there's only 3 on wood, so that would actually be more indicative of scouts play here, or simply just full wall naked or straight fast cast. That seems, to be honest, like a risky idea here. But we'll see where it goes. I mean, this walling investment, there's so much wood going down into this, 2 wood per palisade, and there are 39 palisades now, so that should be close to 100 wood, 80 wood. Not to mention the need for houses and other stuff as well. We'll see how it works out here though. 0 idle TC time for both, of course with some more idle eco time, but all in all they're both just doing their things. Feudal Age on the way, no, Loom on the way for Snapy, and Feudal Age should be on the way as well with 21 pop here. If he's trying for 21 pop scouts here, he's going to be disappointed because the enemy side is in fact fully walled. Could still deny these actually, but yeah, all things considered, looks like Àkos wants to play it safe here. Going to the Feudal Age though, at 21 pop here. Fast Feudal into eco upgrades, I guess. And there's wood for a barracks here, but then what's the plan? Straight archers with Malians here. No villagers on gold. I'm puzzled. Well, there is the barracks. It's definitely not going to complete by the Feudal Age kicking in, but the wood source, okay, might still allow for whatever follow-up is the plan here. Just spear defense. I don't understand what's going on here. The scout goes down, potentially in the base here, some sneaky quick gates from Snapy there. Doesn't succeed in the trap though, so the scout lives. And it's gonna be the scouts for Snapy nevertheless here, so he's hoping to break through on the enemy side and deal some damage here after all. Scouts for both players. Okay, I take it back. The wall investment didn't delay the barracks and stables significantly here for Àkos. So we might be seeing some scouts more in the middle of the field here. Snapy with the walls as well has his left side more or less covered here. There's a backside of this woodland though, which could come back and bite him in the ass if he doesn't realize that there's actually an opening here near in this woodland. That's one that Àkos knows about because he's been around here with his own scout, which he's about to lose now to the Tatars player here. 2 scouts for Tatars, only 1 for Àkos for the time being, but 1 scout weak for Snapy as well. 3 scouts total, not going to be able to enter enemy economy and deal any significant damage here. Shouldn't be anyway, there's walls everywhere. So let's see for the militaries here. No spears added for Àkos just yet. It's on the way though. And it's going to be outnumbered by scouts here, by the Tatars. On the other hand, the Tatar scout will not be able to enter his side here. Snapy will need a ranged follow-up here sooner rather than later, I think. Scouts into archers comes to mind to just deny quick walls and try and enter, or just of course try to aim for a smoother castle age and start pushing with siege or crossbows for cavalry archers, or what might be coming to mind here. Yeah, they're not investing a lot into scouts here, realizing that both players are walled on either side here. This is going to go a bit longer than the previous game by the looks of it. No intensive early scouts fighting here. I think looking at Àkos's resource setup here that he might be the first player going for Castle Age here. It's gonna be close though. It's 4 on gold for Snapy and 5 on gold for Àkos, but the gold situation still is closer to that upclick for Àkos, dropping this blacksmith now. Second building needed to go up. And once the food count hits 800, that should be the Castle Age click for our blue friend here. No immediate danger of overdrops here. This is just pull on turtle on lowland for both players here. There's the cast click, 32. 32 is the villager count, slightly more idle time for Tatars, but very close to that cast click as well. 8 farms, lots on wood and on gold. This has to be. This has to be a cavalry archer follow-up for Snapy. So I'm wondering what would Malians do against cavalry archers. I see 2 second stable going up here, so Àkos wants to go into knight play most likely. I think camels make less sense because they have lower pierce armor and will be sniped by cavalry archer play. The knights still need to get close, but they have more hit points than the cavalry archers, and if they get close, they will be taking favorable fights. Tatars with the cavalry archers could always pull towards either of the hills in the middle of the lower land here though, so that's something. And okay, not cavalry archers yet. Second stable for Snapy here, so he wants to play the cavalry heroes. Concerned with the number of farms, but 15 farms maybe still enough. You just need enough on gold to sustain double stable. Stables should ideally be 40 in total, I think, without gold mining. Villagers moving out now for the first TC in the middle. Àkos could actually afford 2 of them, so it's going to take some decent middle presence here to boost the wood and gold eco for the later game. Can't help but feel like this is a little bit dangerous with up against Tatars though, because with Tatars, any ranged unit they make, they could use the hill there. That goes for both players, of course, that to have the TC next to the hill, you could easily get your own units there to defend as well. But we'll see how it works out. Snapy is on point here with some scouts and will snipe. Snapy snipe one villager here, maybe. Just moves away. Third TC as well for the Malians here. And Snapy for now staying 1000 monastery for defense against the enemy camels. And double stable camels for himself. A mix of knights and camels, in fact. Right, some armies running here. Snapy seems to have a slight military lead here. Nothing too significant. And I have to look at the upgrades as well. +1 defense for both, bloodlines for both. Pretty similar in the upgrades department here. Àkos with bow saw though, to benefit the lumberjacks for the long run, which will help the wood economy quite a bit. Maybe not as significant when going for food and gold heavy units like the cavalry play here, but it certainly makes it a lot more easier to sustain farms in the back of everything here. Monk here to heal up the camels and to try and chase some scouts here, but for now neither player is hitting the enemy's side. Snapy with a TC on the hill here, getting those 2 sheep to spawn under a TC as for Tatars in late game and making use of them as well to boost the food economy a bit. And now I think the 3rd TC is going to go up in the middle here, but Àkos is here to try and stop it. Couple of monks as well. They both have monks, in fact, but seems to be more monks for Àkos here to heal or make conversions, depending. Yeah, good fight for Àkos here. He has slight military superiority here. One more upgrade for Snapy on the way though, that could make a difference here, but for now... Oh, using the monk trick to delay the TC as well. And sending in... Yeah, the town center doesn't go up, and this should be some builders down for Snapy here. EcoKD just 1-1 though, so they're not taking any significant losses here, and... Yeah, looking at the army numbers here now, this town center should be going up. +1 attack for Snapy's camels as well, so even in equal hit points strength here, that Snapy would win these fights any day. Àkos with a 10 builder lead though, something we shouldn't discourage either. It's a good eco for the long run to benefit from Malians. In the Imperial Age, you could get to Farimba for the unique technology for your cavalry to have all of your cavalry units benefit from +5 attack. So you'd have light cavalry plus or 7+7 attack, essentially, in the end. I'm going for those sheep again under the TC. Snapy wants all the extra food he can get here to delay more farms. So healing up the camels here again. They're keeping pretty similar military numbers here. Slightly more camels for Àkos, but he was also doing, yeah, camel monk for both players. Try the Tatty host to channel, we failed. No! Maybe some other time. Yeah, hope you can pull it off. That would be awesome. Doesn't Tatto stream in Spanish these days though, or does he cover both kind of? Yes, English days too. Yeah, makes sense. He's like a solid player, but I guess he gained a lot of followage after making the Twitch front page for Spanish viewers a while ago, which was nice to see. Tato having large numbers at that point probably helped his channel a lot, and he seems like he is a fun and solid overall player, so I should watch his stream more often myself. Ooh, juicy hit. Military numbers 24, 24. These guys are really, they're playing so similar here, but looks like Àkos with that earlier 3 TCs up here is gaining a more and more an eco advantage here over Snapy. That's certainly not to speculate that Snapy can't win this game. He is Tatars, he has the heals, he's playing Tatars camels full on here. Both players get heavy camel in the Imperial Age, but Malians get Farimba to top it off. That could maybe sway the fights of the games here. This Mangala is well protected, so it's idling a lot of Snapy's economy here as well. Don't tell me this TC is gonna go down. Monkas hill for the Tatars here, so you can't pull too close to the Tatars. Oh, look at the sneaky Magnol hit on the camels. And now Àkos wants to take the fight here. It's a slight HP lead, actually. This is where the fight's going on. Is everything is about the middle now. Both players with 6 on stone as well. They seem to have really similar plans here for this map to use castles for further control in the middle as well. I see a 4th TC for Àkos here, so securing some stone there for potential castles. Military numbers in favor of Àkos now, mixing in some pikemen as well, which is good. They could come in handy later as well as a meat shield in front of your cavalry archer if need be. And really, it's blocking entrance to the Mangonels here, so the Mangonels can still fire at the TC, maybe eventually take it out. This is a good fight for Àkos. 31 military to 8 here. Snapy could get both Mangonels in one shot here if Àkos doesn't pay attention. That's at 1 for 2, so absolute great value for Snapy there. Yeah, but that cost a lot for Snapy here. He's down 15 villagers, he's down to almost 0 army here. And Àkos getting handcart seems like he's preparing an Imperial Age transition here. That's it, yeah. Losing that huge camel mass, that's basically GG for Snapy. No army to defend against the remaining numbers of Àkos. Losing the middle presence as well. Running out of gold, potentially on the hill here. Great performance of Àkos on the home map. Let's have a look at the stats. Army high here for the Malians. Better economy as well, we'll see for the up times after looking at the economy. Yeah, 5,000 more resources collected, overall solid display by Àkos here. Let's see the uptimes. Feudal Age, very similar, both going for the scouts and early walls. Castle timing quite similar as well, but that little half minute still bought Àkos good time to get to the 3 TCs earlier. And then the villagers high show almost 20 villagers lead for Àkos in the end. We're going to have a decider game, a 5th game. So that's gonna be up any moment here. I'll be disconnecting Capture H to pull up the last recorded game here. Alright, last game is on Atacama. Snapy's home map. And here we go. For the last match here on Atacama, the doesn't say here it says unknown map, but it is in fact the definitive edition Atacama. Snapy versus Àkos, Goths versus Khmer. So, what do Khmer want to do here? I'm thinking maybe early feudal age scouts investment for Khmer here for the mobility, and but maybe you don't want to scout rush Goths as well, given that Goths have cheaper spears. But then again, Goths don't have. Neither civilization has a significant Dark Age bonus, but Khmer not needing the buildings to drop the stable will still be getting the scouts out pretty early. The Goths pick though for Snapy here. Now on the Goths. The Goths pick for Snapy. It's just screaming men-at-arms towers, which can be so strong on this map. Of course, you can go for never-ending militia or 4 or 5 men-at-arms and follow up with some archers as well. But with men-at-arms to support your towers play, you could just force the opponent off woodlines again and again. 100 wood each time you need to replenish them, and they'll just really struggle to keep their wood economy flowing. So we'll see if that's the case here. Khmer, they have the ability of hiding inside houses, so they're less subject to raids from whatever the enemy brings to the field. But you can't hide forever in houses either. They will eventually be taken down to a point where units are forcefully ungarrisoned. Snapy already in the move, looking for the enemy side now. He has 2 forward stones, so not ideal if wanting to go for a man-at-arms towers rush here, but it's all about timing it to how when you want to hit it. It's a bit risky to go for the front wood line first, as Àkos is doing here. They're actually both doing it, but that makes it all that much easier to deny. I see 3 on wood for Àkos, though. That's also giving away some information that scouts may be the plan here for the blue player. I don't love the resources for Àkos here, though. All resources forward. Stone near the hill, stone here. You could almost deny both stones one tower here if you want to. Gold's very forward, and main gold forward as well. If they didn't call the restarts already, this would definitely be a map worthy of a restart for Àkos. Yep, so Snapy has found what he needs to know. This is the wood lumber camp of the opponent, maybe the most important area to hit on Atacama, in fact. Some quick walls here already, but that's not going to keep any ranged approach out. Looks like Snapy wants to obstruct the deer luring here, maybe even. Yeah, he lets it go. Fair play award for Snapy today. Not getting any sneaky hits on the Khmer scout here. 19 pop for both, 0 idle TC time, so good build orders so far by the looks of it. Four on wood versus 3 on wood. No sign of a barracks here for Snapy. Or am I missing something? No, no barracks. 22 pop and no barracks. There it is though. Huh. Seems a tad late to me, but the uptimes for both players is 21 pop up for Khmer and 22 pop up for Snapy, but with more idle TC time as well. 2 or 3 on gold, 2 on gold. And some walling to the sides here to keep any Khmer scouts out, which is what might be on the agenda here. In this case, I think Àkos could comfortably go just straight for the stables with the Khmer here without building the barracks, because it's very unlikely that Snake with the Goths player is going for scouts play, and then you won't be needing spearmen, at least not immediately. Well, the militia are pumping out here. They are cheaper for Goths after all, so you have an easy time massing them. No houses needed, so the production will be fluent. Tier 4 militia to move out, and Snapy trying to drop a mining camp on the stone there, but sees the enemy scout and just shies away, not so as not to show that he plans to go for towers here. Could take this stone instead. Yep, straight stable for Khmer, and men-at-arms on the way for the Goths. Only 3 of them, surprisingly enough, considering that Goths have cheaper infantry, but 3 is still enough to deal damage, I think. I think both of these wood lines could be hit by 1 tower, actually, especially if you have pledging for the tower, so that seems risky. 17 seconds for men-at-arms here. 4, how many stone now? 4 on stone for Snapy, and sending forward the gold miners to build towers forward now without even dropping off the gold. That must be heavy to carry that gold all the way over to enemy base. So 1 lumber camp being attacked by men-at-arms now. I'm kind of thinking that the other... Either the first tower goes up accompanied by the men-at-arms, or if you try to deny both woodlands at once with a sneaky tower over here or something. Where did it just go? I was certain I saw some builders moving forward, but I may be mistaken here. Enough builders here to fight off the scouts, though. One almost down. And definitely one builder down for Snapy here, who's off stone again. However, with enough, almost enough stone for 2 towers here. One spearman is out to fend off the scouts. Àkos with 0 on gold for now, just following up the scouts play with eco investment here and making the best of the scouts forward here. Now there's a spearman to chase those weak scouts away though, and they can't enter in this direction either. That's been walled out by Snapy, so some intelligent walling here, I would say, unless the scout enters again here. Alright, I don't think Snapy's home map plan is working out as intended. There's still no tower forward. Yes, the men-at-arms are alive and forcing some reactions here. And Snapy heard that wall going down with the scouts popping out, but wasn't able to run over and deny the wall in time. Alright. Pulling the men-at-arms back now. Defensive men-at-arms to deal with the scouts. Is that it? These spearmen have just the perfect direction here to finish off these scouts. 1 down, almost 2 down. Àkos behind this though, 20 on food, still hasn't gone to gold, but I mean it's just about mining the gold book mirror. You don't need to stress any buildings to get them up, but here it's gonna be towers for the men-at-arms towers for Snapy, whether you like it or not. This time with spearmen and men-at-arms to cover. Àkos will spot it though. Let's see the builders moving yet again, and the spearmen. Why are you hiding away over there when you could be hitting the scouts moving in this direction? This seems like a good tower spot, but Àkos might be suspecting that now with all the villagers forward. Will he be... Oh, of course, yeah. Tower in the middle here, and it might, as said, it might actually reach both lumber camps here. At least if you get fletching eventually. So it's a good tower, men-at-arms and spearmen. Good luck stopping this with scouts exclusively here for Àkos. Àkos will need to scramble a defensive tower. And there are 5 villagers to build it, but only 3 of them building, so Snapy will be getting this tower up. Good old house garrison trick here. Long term now, as wood is going to be an issue for Àkos here. This tower is able to reach a little bit here, maybe. Men-at-arms enter to attack the tower foundation as well. Nice. And with fletching in for this tower, it should be reaching the villagers as well. Villager and man-at-arm pulling at the tower now, though. That could mean some dead villagers when or if this tower foundation goes down as well. The tower, it's at 70%, so it might eventually go up here, but at what cost? Yeah, Àkos is actually giving up on the tower and moving along. Doesn't have stone for more than that one defensive tower either. Hasn't been mining stone here. So, bye-bye wood access for Àkos. Forcing towers costs wood as well. So now it's left with only 58 wood and has to long distance collect wood here, which is extremely inefficient as compared to Snapy's not so efficient lumber camp at home as well. That's like 3 or 4 tiles walking distance, so it's what tends to happen when you micromanage your units forward to try and stop the enemy from getting resources. But it's still more efficient. It's still long distance, but it's not like 12 tiles long distance lumberjacking inefficient. Full on villager fighting here, but Àkos is about to lose gold access on the main gold here, and look at the secondaries and the side golds here. They're just that far up. No neutral golds to the left. What is this map, Jen? It's one here and there's one here. It's a horrible map for the blue player here to get gold access. Did make it to Castle Age though. 23 farms now working full and nice for the converter here, but once they expire, some good luck replenishing those, lacking the wood access from the middle. So let's see if Snapy is paying attention to the movement here. Not really. Problem with the cast here for Àkos is that there's lots of food, there's no gold, there's no market to sell the food for gold. It's going to gold now, and that's going to be Snapy's next target. I guess it's a good call to deny gold again now, with maybe suspecting that we might have made it to cast here. Yeah, that's 3 villagers down for Àkos, 1 down for... No, sorry, 3 villagers down for Snapy in the middle of all this, but look at this idle eco time for Àkos. Well, market goes up, gonna sell some food for gold for the Castle Age. These stables are absolutely good pump out knights here, but the wood situation is less than ideal here for the blue player. Archers, even in the mix for Snapy now, playing extended feudal age with Goths here to just make good use of the control. 7 man-at-arms total as well. That could eventually benefit from a longsword upgrade. And denying the market! That's huge, actually. No gold for Àkos here in the Castle Age. And delaying that market, that's huge as well. Now, of course, we'll be seeing some knights in queue here. 2 knights in the queue for Àkos, but that's about it. You can't sell food forever either. You need to reclaim the gold and clean up the feudal age armies of Snapy here, who's going to commit to that feudal age, but going to keep an extreme builder's lead here as well. You could actually use the men-at-arms to tear down the market now and still be denying gold here. But selling food and buying resources here for Àkos allowed for a TC on the main gold, so it's surviving here still. Didn't know he sold that much food. No, he had like... Yes, current farms, man, you'll be having lots of food to sell at any stage in the game. Those sneaky walls to try and stop the stable from producing. That's a smart call as well, but they didn't complete in time. Is that an S for Snapy? Looks like it. It's making a signature here, confident to win this map with Goths. We'll see how it ends, because Khmer is 1 age ahead here, which could be significant, lacking resources or not. There are knights on the field now. Obviously, they don't have upgrades. You could still afford forging and scale barding armor potentially. But losing the one and only stable, that's not going to be the good news here for Àkos. Still struggling for wood and taking the little wood that is around here. How much does it cost buying food now? I can't check it in Capture Age, sadly. I would have to go into the game for that. I don't think Capture Age has that as a feature. Well, I'd wager that food prices are decent, since it's because you need to go up. Yeah, there's it. Whoa! It's still expensive. Panic lumberjacking here, cast H, on the way for the gray player. Doesn't like lumberjacking either. The stables went down, and don't think Àkos has a single production building for army now. Let's see. No stable, no barracks, no range, nope. So, whether Àkos wants to make army or not is just not an option here. Right now. Booming with no military, never a great idea when the enemy has 29 military and are on the way to the Castle Age. Look at this swarm of this men-at-arms and spears here. And a cheeky forward barracks for Snapy here to end it all, with the boot-shaped walls at home here to secure a couple of golds inside of the base, and an S for Snapy written in grey here. Solid army that will benefit from upgrades though. Pike and Longsword should be within the grasp of Snapy here. Maybe some additional upgrades even. Or is it going to be Siege? Maybe, since the Siege Workshop is here. Mangonel for Àkos, surprisingly enough. I'd actually want to consider opting for Scorpions here. Because of the sheer amount of military numbers here. 41 to 44 villagers, so there is a villager lead for Àkos, albeit not having wheelbarrow here, so maybe the numbers essentially quite similar. KD 21 to 7, so very much in favor of the Goths here. So annoying to play against Goths as well. Okay, so the Mangalan was to clean up the tower on the main goal. That makes sense, actually. Down it goes. Àkos calling the GG with Castage in for the Goths player. It is Snapy taking the 3-2 here, but a nice set it was, and we'll be wishing Snapy good luck in the finals. So I don't know the winner of the other set, Snapy, but you can schedule basically whenever you want, but I'd love to cast it live, so please let me know when you have it scheduled, if you haven't already. And we'll see if we can cover it live. Would be nice. But that's time zone dependent and everything. Army high 29 to 5. Goths army domination there. All in all, more-ish resources collected as well. Could even have collected stone to drop a castle at some point. Funny uptimes here with cast age at 28, 25 here for Goths, but still winning the game. And just see the army tab here throughout the game. So that concludes it. GG well played to the first two semi-finalists.